All right. This movie's a DreamWorks picture. You know what that means.
It's going to be a dream. What does it mean?
I don't know. The DreamWorks, I think I've mentioned this book before, The Men Who Would Be King by Nicole Laporte. It's a great book if you're into this kind of thing about the rise and fall of DreamWorks, the folly of trying to build a new studio. Like there hasn't been a new studio other than DreamWorks in, 50 years. Now they just merge with each other. They don't start new ones because it's very difficult for a number of reasons.
Would you say it's the opposite of evolving?
Yes.
They don't split, they merge.
They're the opposite of mitosis. They're combined cis. Well, you don't have
Let's combine cis.
Studios rely on a back catalog of movies to like sell to television stations and airlines and DVDs and stuff to keep them afloat. And DreamWorks pops up and has nothing. All they can do is make new movies, and a lot of the movies aren't very good.
Since you have to start with a lot of money, or they get like a corporate, what do you call that? Venture capital?
They got investors.
Angel investor.
Yeah,
I'm trying to use words.
Investors.
Okay.
And Evolution was one of their big, flops in an attempt to sort of make kind of older school movies, and it just didn't really work out. But I would recommend that book. I looked through that book for a mention of Evolution. Ooh, we're going to get the behind the scenes scoop. No, it's only mentioned once. It's called a dud.
Because it is like, you're saying Evolution was an attempt at making something older?
Something like Ghostbusters, something throwback, something that...
Such a miss.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Let's dig.
Here we go. It opens with a meteor, and a meteor in space, and we meet Seann William Scott as Wayne, the firefighter trainee, and he's bringing a mannequin into an abandoned shack with some gasoline cans, and before you know what he's up to, you're like, he's going to do some twisted shit.
He's in a fireman outfit.
But
Calm
then,
down.
no, he's just practicing for his fire exam. 2 minutes into the movie, I'm like, this is likable. I give this movie an A-. This is pretty fun. Just because it's Seann William Scott being goofy. And he's like, I'm not going to let you die on me, man. But then the meteor crashes into the shack and everything explodes. And he's like, the fuck?
My God.
So it's like, it's very Men in Black in this opening. And I know Men in Black is very indebted to Ghostbusters, but, a celestial disturbance in some sort of rural environs. And
yeah, I mean, how else do you kick off any kind of an alien situation, right?
Don't ask me. All right, let's meet our great heroes, Dr. Ira Kane, David Duchovny, and Dr. Harry Block, Orlando Jones.
I mean, you're about to describe this scene. It's the two opening scenes. It's how we meet them. And both of them confused me so much in terms of what am I to feel about these two men?
Confusion is the operative word. As in my notes, I just kept writing again. What are they doing? Why is this funny?
But also, what does it say about, you can be funny, but be telling us about this person as a character. And I don't understand.
Well, they can't tell you a thing about the character because there is no character. Like, are they supposed to be shitty people who you can't help but like because they're so charismatic? Are they leches? Or are they smart, heart of gold?
Well, I don't know. Okay, can I just say that Dr. Ira Kane, you're in, I'm thinking Indiana Jones, or so, he's just like a good-looking professor who's got a big classroom of doting people looking at him. But does he is in a bizarre way has given almost everybody A's, which because he's phoning it in. He doesn't actually care about or is that nice? And then the dumbest two people who are brothers who have clearly submitted F- work. Now, let alone the fat phobia. We'll leave that to the side. But he gave them C-. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? He's nice.
He's supposed to be a cool teacher. But I hate
inappropriate.
I hate actors trying to establish themselves as teachers. It's one of my pet peeves in movies. Like nobody can. I don't know what I want to see, but I know that what he's doing. Like, no, I'm just a underpaid community college science professor, but everyone gets an A, and then everyone cheers except the two big fatzos. Ethan Suplee and Michael Bauer.
Salute Your Shorts and Full Metal Jacket. No. American History X.
Every time we meet Ethan Suplee, you say that. We last encountered him as the Mad Max roommate Thumper from
Damn it!
The Butterfly Effect. And yeah, Michael Bauer is Donkey Lips. Look, Ethan Supplee's always funny, and I think is a little funny in this movie. They're complaining because they got C's, and then David Duchovny dresses them down. He's like, well, listen, you both turned in essays called Cells Are Bad. My uncle lives in a cell. He can't read in there. The end.
Okay, and he gave them C minuses. Like, I get it. We were supposed to focus on the joke about these big dummies, but what? So all I read from this is like, okay, either they're setting him up to be just the sweetest, or he's unethical. Like he's coasting through this. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want a lot of pushback, a lot of flack from his students, people showing up asking for extra credit. You got A's and everybody gets to praise me. Yay. Mm-hmm. But it's unethical because they're not learning anything. So anyway, but I can forgive this because let's move on and see what else he's about.
Okay, so Orlando Jones, Dr. Harry Block. We meet him. He's on the phone and he's like, a meteor? Where? And then he hangs up and he returns to talk to his hot female student, Nadine. And she like wants a good grade because she wants to get into nursing school because she wants to be a pageant winner. And they say nursing school looks good on your pageant, whatever.
Right.
And then Duchovny comes in and he's like, ready for lunch or have you already eaten?
Okay. And what's bizarre about this is I'm actually proud of Harry through this because she is seeming to put that on offer. She is asking for extra credit. She's sitting suggestively, whatever. Now, there's still a power imbalance here. So I'm not liking what they're doing with this character in terms of her as a female student, but she's the one doing it. And then all of a sudden, Duchovny walks in the door and Harry starts acting like a nasty fucking lech. Like, yeah, I'm gonna eat her pussy. He didn't say that, but it's like he looked at her like, yeah, I'm gonna totally fuck. And he starts engaging in this, I'll get back to you on that extra credit. But you were being so okay. You were being okay, man.
So it's kind
of... Now you're trying to put your 7 up hers. I don't like it.
So it's David Duchovny's the actual lech. He makes people around him worse.
That's what I think. And he makes people around him unethical because he gives off the sense of cool, the sense of being above it all. He doesn't care about his station in life. Meanwhile, we don't know. He's actually was a colonel and he's kind of a big shit. So, he's just like, whatever, I'm coasting now, monotone ass baby.
I'm coasting now, monotone ass baby. Scully, look. He's like Ferris Bueller. He drives everyone crazy because they're like, why can't I be like that and have Sarah Silverman open her shirt for me in a diner? Maybe I should try to act more like him. I think you're onto something, love. I wrote in my notes just something 5 minutes into the movie. Something is off.
Okay, yes.
Everything's just a little.
It's a little.
Yeah. So they go over to the crater.
It's my turn now.
What do they find?
I feel like I've mostly. All right. And I'm not totally understanding why they called this man in. I think he must just be the only person at all credentialed to handle this within the area.
I'll tell you.
Thank you.
I did notice it is supposed to be a sort of a running joke. He's like, I'm a member of the United States Geological Society, which is like, who cares? But he just will. So nobody actually called him and he just heard about this meteor and he's like, okay, well, I'll go and I'll act like I'm somebody.
Wait, but who called him?
I don't know. Maybe some other geology fan was like, there was a meteor.
So you're telling me it's the alligator guy from fucking Lake Placid. No one calls this man to come see these alligators or
he just goes
crocodiles. He just helicopters in like, I'm the guy.
Yeah, Oliver Platt. He's like, so somebody said crocodile?
All right. So, but again, what is up with this town? This town is just off, but not in a way where it seems like it's on purpose. They are going out of their way to make these cops look like buffoons. I mean, they are just little paper bags for them to push past. It's nothing. And they make their ways down into the crater hole. And then the cops are acting even dumber. So they're the big shits on campus for a little bit and they collect their sample. They see something weird. It's all very interesting. They get sciencey for 2 seconds. And then they go back to the lab to look at it under a microscope.
I wrote this again and again in my notes. This movie's produced in 2000. It's released a few months before 9/11. But after 9/11, you would never be able to make fun of cops like this. Where they're just dumb bumpkins. Like they come around and they're like, hey, we're here on a science mission. They're like, oh, so, okay, yes, please.
Do science.
And then they're like, you got it from here. Our work is done. And their work is they were taking pictures with a disposable camera.
And also you notice is the same cop that Sarah Silverman's dating later.
But this movie makes fun over and over again of cops and the military.
Which yes.
Never again after this.
And maybe I'm completely conditioned to like not being a thing, but I just like, if you're going to do it, let there be a reason. This just seems like the blind leading the, it all seems very irresponsible.
I on my second viewing noticed, and I'm not saying this movie
deserves this,
properly executes this theme, but there is a sort of recurring thing where everyone is bad at their jobs and just rushing through it and trying to look smart and competent, but nobody actually knows what they're doing. It happens over and over and over again.
And my question is why? They're doing that because I guess they think it's funny or cool?
I think it's
why?
Commentary on the world. I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah, like we're all just faking it. And we all just want access and be like, no, I found it first. You found it first because you just live closer to it. You didn't actually discover anything. If anybody discovered anything, it's that fireman or whatever. I mean, it all seemed pretty... The claim to having discovered anything seemed very loose. I mean, all he did was take a bit of a rock and put it under a microscope and then used words to describe what he was seeing. That's all he did.
It's a little arbitrary.
I don't see how that wins you a Nobel anything, but whatever. These guys are not happy with their station, or at least for sure Orlando Jones's character is not. So as soon as they discover it, it's not like, well, what does this mean for mankind? This is like, wow, I'm going to be important finally. No more Division III ladies volleyball coach.
I think Ghostbusters was doing some of the same stuff. We're dealing with the discovery of the paranormal and life after death and stuff, but all we know what to do with it is to start a business around it.
But they're blue collar. It makes sense. This is military, police, and scientists. These are all people in power.
Duchovny says, like, we're going to get the Nobel Prize, and then Orlando Jones is like, do they pay that in installments or what? So... I mean, they want to win prizes, but yeah, one of them is in it for science, the other's in it for money, and he's in the Geological Society because it's going to look good on his resume.
Right. No one is happy with where they are, except for these cops are having the best time they've ever had in their lives. All right.
Yeah, I think maybe the movie's also saying like, well, it's the dumb people who are happy. It's like Ethan Suplee and Donkey Lips are happy. Be like them.
Well, and it's like it's Julianne Moore's overarching point, right? Like, in this scenario, sometimes the simplest organisms are the ones who rise to the top or the ones who survive. And then that's exactly when Donkey Lips decides to come up with his Head and Shoulders idea. And also it's the aspiring fireman who has the idea to sing in the mall. Like it keeps happening that the dumbest people are saving the day.
Yeah.
But again, why it doesn't it seems like it's just kind of going wherever.
It's they read the screenwriting book that says your movie has to have an idea, it has to have a controlling idea, so they're like, oh, okay, yes, everyone
dumb. Oh, that's what I wrote over and over in my notes. Is this the same reality that Idiocracy exists in? This feels like Idiocracy every time. I mean, there is not one smart person at the helm of anything until Julianne Moore, and she's immediately sexualized and runs into shit.
I don't remember Idiocracy, so.
Oh, everyone, no matter who and what level you're in charge, you're just like, anyway.
Isn't it fun to remember that Idiocracy is like advocating eugenics?
That is fun.
Because isn't it like only dumb people who have babies?
I mean, it's saying that they had babies at a much more explosive rate. You're right. All right.
Look, they hammer into this meteor and they're like, it's bleeding. It's a rock that bleeds. What's
it must be a lady
going
rock
on here? They go look under the microscope and they see some life. And then what happens?
Okay, Duchovny makes this discovery and he feels real sciencey about it. And so he goes and runs and disturbs the volleyball game and just says to, his pal, stuff is happening with the thing and it's big and it's
10 base pairs. He's like, hey, 10 base pairs. He's distracted. Let me ask you this. You're a volleyball coach.
Absolutely, I am.
Is this an accurate depiction of volleyball coaching?
It's the only well-observed thing in the entire fucking movie. Yes. I wrote that.
What are you like as a coach? Are you a player's coach? Are you a hard ass?
Are those two different things or one thing?
Player's coach, like you're the player's friend versus a hard ass, a Bill Belichick.
So those are two things.
Two different things.
I just said, is that one thing? And you said yes.
No, you said, or are those two different things?
Oh my God. I'm a player's coach. I meet them where they are. I try to help people in the way that appeals to them. And if they like me to joke around, I do that. But if they need me to come do one-on-one stuff, I do that. If they need me to yell at them, I do that. I'm nice. Fuck off. Can we go to the next slide? You have other things to say about the volleyball game, Matt?
I have so much to say.
What?
Well, Orlando Jones is monologuing about how he wants this is maybe this will help him get away and advance his station. He won't have to be a Division III women's volleyball coach anymore. David Duchovny's looking in his computer and he's typing and type 10 base pairs, life on Earth.
That's what's happening here?
That's what's happening here. That's what I had to say. He gets Orlando Jones to come look in my microscope.
And that's when Orlando Jones sees a different kind of organism. It's already changed. It's not single cell anymore.
I'm no biologist, but how many cells does a single cell organism have?
This is one of those things that I can forgive. I don't need the science to be right, you know? And I know you're just giving a quote from the movie, but
yeah,
I don't care about the science part. I really don't.
Like they're growing. They're becoming more complex. They're evoluting.
Oh.
This is, it's kind of like David Duchovny's like, don't you understand? We're on the verge of something amazing. The growth at this rate, it's astonishing, and it's growing and growing. And Orlando Jones is just like, that's
money,
fast.
money. Right.
It's not that funny. But
I didn't say funny. I said money.
I said it's kind of funny.
Oh,
you were
okay.
saying money.
Sorry.
I do like to think, it's one of my favorite things to think about is how are people actually going to react to the knowledge of other life in the universe?
Right.
And I think I've come to the conclusion that most people won't care, or they'll, say like Trump doesn't like the aliens or something. It'll just get tied into something they already care about, or they just won't notice it. I think I've said this before. I was telling my mom years ago that I was working on a novel about this idea of how would society change if we learned that there are aliens. And my mom said, didn't we already learn that?
So not at all.
Yeah. They go back to the crater site, this time with their students. And there's
again, further illustrating a not ethical way to use your students, right? That's the through line. They don't care about other people's safety or well-being or the rules. That's all if I'm supposed to be picking up on character traits, they don't follow the rules.
I think this is a nice thing to do for your students, but
they're not doing it to be nice. They're doing it to get free labor. They're trying to haul shit out the hole.
Giving them credit.
Matt,
this is a great way to learn.
Are you being funny?
I'm not being funny.
Okay. They get Donkey Lips and his brother to be hoisting stuff. It never happens, but no, they brought them for manpower.
Yeah, I know.
So then what are you saying?
I don't think it's that bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying if we're trying to figure out what these characters are, because I still don't understand. Am I rooting for them or not? I know the movie thinks I am, but
you're rooting.
I'm not.
You want them.
I'm not.
Orlando Jones, he says to the cops, what are you doing here? You can't go in. And he's like, well, we're here on USGS business. It's very technical. And the cop says, oh, well, if it's technical, go right ahead. Once again, nobody's good at their jobs. Everyone's just, you just confidently assert something and someone else will believe you. And 6 months later, they wouldn't be allowed to make fun of cops like this. The meteor is now surrounded by fungal growth.
It's nasty.
I have in recent years decided that the apocalypse will likely be fungal. So,
is that because you watched The Last of Us?
Before The Last of Us, I think it was started when I saw the movie Annihilation and then read those books. And then The Last of Us just crystallized it. So
fungalized it.
There's millions of little slugs. Only 18 hours and we already have flatworms.
And then I thought the dry ice look was just to make it look spooky on the floor. But no, they're literally trying to say that somehow this fungus is creating an atmosphere atmosphere that works for the worm to breathe in, because as soon as they lift it up, it dies.
Yeah, they get exposed to oxygen and they die. And David Duchovny says it took us 2 billion years to do what these guys did in a day. They put some worms in a jar and then it starts multiplying. It's mitosis. That's how they reproduce. No sex? No time for sex. Bummer.
A lot of sex talk in this movie.
All right, we go check. Well, first, Orlando Jones says, we got to call the government. And David Duchovny says, no government. I know those people. They're no good.
And I thought it was a joke about...
Me too. I thought, is this a meta joke because he's Mulder? But we'll find out later. No, he has a past. We go check in with Seann William Scott, who was working at the country club, and he sees a bunch of slugs and then sees that there's a fish monster in the pool pump. That's that. How did these get here?
All
Were they
right.
on his clothes? Are they in the water supply? Who knows? Who cares? But the government has found out about the meteor and they've set up a base near it. Now they're in charge. Hey, this is our site. Not anymore. It's not.
Oh yeah, all that happened because this is how they get back into it, is that this pool boy, the fireman guy, brings this giant creature to, he's like, hey, you guys are, why does he even know? Oh, he met them on site. Okay. You guys are scientists. Look at this thing. Great. Now they're
Look at
pulled,
this thing,
now they're
Orlando
pulled back
Jones.
in.
Its teeth are remarkable.
Oh,
They go back to the meteor site. Now the military's in charge, and Duchovny's like, I'm Dr. Ira Kane. I'm here to talk to the general or whatever. And like, you're Dr. Ira Kane, the Ira Kane. I've been waiting to do this a long time. And he pulls out a gun to, I guess, shoot him dead.
Shoot him.
But then the other soldiers stop him. Like, okay, you go ahead. They go meet the general, General Woodman. And he starts talking. And Lacey says, he sounds a lot like Buffalo Bill. Because he is played by Ted Levine, Buffalo Bill.
I can't stop hearing it after that. And he keeps wanting people to go down in a hole.
Yeah.
Like, bet you do.
I bet you do, you sick fuck.
do.
It's very weird. Like, the general, he gives Ira a big hug. Welcome back, son. and he's Orlando Jones says, you used to work for the Pentagon? And Duchovny says, yeah. He's like, all this time I just thought you were a school teacher. No. That's it.
That's
It's just
it.
weird. Like, there's no jokes. These lines just get delivered, and then there's just space.
And then there's this exposition about what he did to stop being a colonel. And it sounds pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
He should have been stopped. He is unethical. That is his streak. And who wears a fucking garter belt? God.
Julianne Moore shows up. I'm from the CDC. I'm a important scientist. Listen to me. But then she falls over. It is really, like, Julianne Moore, one of the great actors of her generation,
Is used
just
this
fallen
way.
over. And I don't know if it was her idea or Reitman's idea, but maybe it was her idea. Like, just let me do something.
But the garter belt.
Just
They needed to
fallen
see the garter belt. Is this why?
So what is a garter belt?
What?
I don't know what a garter belt is.
Well, this used to be the way you hold up your pantyhose. It had a function. So it's just a symbol for I'm going to be naked. It's an undergarment. You pull up the garter belt. It has no crotch. It then, like little suspender hooks, closes on. You've seen them a million times. You just don't know that's what you're looking at. And it just holds up the stockings. So you would never wear this in real life. Pantyhose stay up now. You don't need this. You only wear this as a lingerie situation. It's to be sexy. It's in the bus scene from Heart and Souls. That's what she's wearing. You see the little straps and stuff.
But
a garter. I think a garter belt might be two things, but it's fine. It's all just it's thigh accessories. Fuck.
But that's
She
all
would
it's
not be
signaling. It's
wearing
just
it.
like, this is like seeing her underwear.
No, it's saying she's wearing that because she's fucking wild. No one wears that.
Okay.
It's extra sexy. So it's like, it's weird. It doesn't fit here. It doesn't make sense. Does she like strip on the side? This situation is much harder to do than just putting on pantyhose.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Ted Levine is like giving him a talking down. He's like, no, we're taking the site. It's protocol. And Duchovny, he says, I've got some protocol right here for you, Woodman. And he grabs his dick and balls.
Dick, real big grab.
But the camera doesn't show it. The camera's only above his waist. I guess they had to crop it because that was too obscene.
Honk, honk.
And then one scene later, as David Duchovny and Orlando Jones pull away, David Duchovny takes out his ass and puts it on the windshield.
Right.
You get a nice long shot of his ass.
Here's a fruit basket for you.
Yeah.
He says.
It's like, yeah, they're like, oh, these raunchy lads. It comes and goes. Like, they're normal and well-behaved sometimes, but then they're like horny college students.
That's
Like, fuck you, Dean.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't fit. It's like, all it is the evolution of American Pie or Road Trip. It's just like, we're still palling around, looking at my bare ass and my hairy crack. Ugh.
It cuts then immediately to a courtroom where they're all talking to a judge. They got a hearing remarkably fast.
So fast, and are saying none of the correct words.
None of them has a lawyer. But
All
here
of them are.
we learn about Ira's past.
Ira.
And Ira, well, Julianne Moore, who is Dr. Allison Crane, again, she's not a lawyer, but she's like, Your Honor, if I may depose the witness.
It's like you cross-exam. Also, you're not doing shit.
Yeah, did you file your pro hoc vice motions to represent before this court?
I guess because they work for the government has to decide. But when they just call a higher up, it fucking, I know it's jurisdictional that they're trying to, who's got jurisdiction here?
This would be a federal court. Wait, no, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But the government, if they actually got this lawsuit filed, the government would delay. That's what they would do. It's a plot hole, I'm saying.
It's a plot hole for sure.
Give this movie an F because of this. No, it's just weird how like well observed this is.
Right.
She goes and she asks him questions. More than any of that, it's just this is
a way to tell us.
Lame way to dump exposition.
That's all it is. Let me tell you what this guy did wrong.
She gets to question him. Tell me what your deal is, Dr. Ira Crane. He's like, well, I worked for the Defense Department in a very high-level position. I was developing an experimental anthrax vaccine. Gave it to 140,000 soldiers who developed uncontrollable diarrhea and flatulence.
And this is before 9/11.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Anthrax. And she's like, well, you were fired because of this? And he says, you'll have to ask the Joint Chiefs. So he's so high up in the Pentagon that the Joint Chiefs are making decisions on his employment. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter why he got fired. This guy is serving on the boards of think tanks and pharmaceutical companies. He's on Fox News once a week. He is not working as a shitty college professor.
Right. He's not so disgraced for trying to make some sort of revolutionary discovery. It doesn't make sense. Even
if he was disgraced, it'd be like, holy shit, you worked that high up. You got to come work for us.
You're Q.
Yeah, they called the side effects of this vaccine the cane madness.
Wow.
After the courtroom scene, it's like, boy, Julianne Moore is really mean to me in that courtroom. And Orlando Jones is like, you know what that means, dude? She wants your dick.
And it's weird that joke is made again later with the higher up military guy that kicks him out. Like she's mad at him.
Specifically her.
Specifically her. Oh, you know what that means? It's like, oh my God, when does she get to just do her job? What the fuck is this?
She's working hard at her job. That means she's horny for you.
It's like, were they worried they were going to look like a bunch of cucks making a movie with a smart woman? They had to make sure, yeah, but she fucks. And even she jumps in on it. You know, I would have rocked your world. Like,
Sigourney Weaver.
You will fuck. Everyone fucks. Fine.
Sigourney Weaver in Ghostbusters is smart and impressive and is doesn't want to fuck Bill Murray until she actually starts to like him. But yeah, she's not defined by being a woman.
Being fuckable, being willing to fuck, falling down and showing fuck pants. God.
They go back to their office at the school and all their shit's gone. The computer's been hacked. All the data's gone. The JPEG files.
So now.
The waves, the GIFs.
The floppies. Okay, so now they've done it now. If they're going to come in here and take our shit, which seems legal, by the way, if you've already determined jurisdiction is not yours, you're not allowed to be part of this investigation. I totally buy it that they came in and was like, and took other things.
But you're right. They're like college kids. They're like,
yeah,
violated the code.
They're going to raid us. We're going to raid them. And then they fucking get their way into a completely freaking quarantined off, as it should be, pristine. They set that shit up fast. Whatever underground thing, bunker, escape, firelock.
Duchovny dresses up as an officer. Jones dresses up as a private. And once again, they're
lots of little jokes about,
just act confident, act like you belong, and people will accept you. And they do. And I think that's part of the movie's ideas. Nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's just like, oh, yeah, go right this way, sir.
I do feel like also part of the idea is just get David Duchovny in as many like thirst trappy outfits as he can, because he's also a fireman at another point. It's like, you could have just worn your normal clothes.
Yeah, did they
you
think
could have just worn your normal clothes.
They thought they were going to get a Burger King toy line.
I think they just were trying to make women go,
yeah. Were you doing that?
No, he does not do it for me.
Okay, it didn't work.
I need a side of humor with my handsome. Looking at you.
Oh, shut up.
I won't.
They go down into the site where now it's just crawling with animal and plant growth.
It is Fern Gully.
And Orlando Jones says, looks like the kitchen of my first apartment.
No, it doesn't.
Why doesn't this movie have jokes?
Also, be blown away. This is fucking insane what you're seeing here. It's magical. It's beautiful. It's scary as fuck. Oh, what? They really went to shit down here. No, you're all gonna die.
It's gross. They need to clean this up.
Oh, look, a roach. No! It's prehistoric.
There's CGI bugs crawling around everywhere.
They're pretty good.
Kind of cool puppety trees and shit, but like the design idea was just lots of stuff.
I instantly said chocolate factory. It looked like that. It looked like that scene. Just like, ooh. I was confused. I guess their thought process is all of evolution, all of its many strains are happening alongside each other all really fast. So that's why there's so many. Because my understanding was like, there's like 4 or 5 of these things to start. There's so many species that I guess some of them are variants on what it really would have been, but I don't know enough about evolution.
Too close to the real thing, though. I know you disagree, but when we get to the primate.
Okay.
That's when I have a big gaping plot hole, science hole.
Who did his dentistry? Those teeth are beautiful.
They're trying to capture a specimen, and they're just talking loud, like, "Hey, isn't Julianne Moore a bitch? Oh, she's hot though. She's an ice queen. She wants you. She needs a good humping." But Julianne Moore is watching them on security footage. She can hear them. It hurts her feelings.
No one respects her enough in that room to turn it down, like to turn the volume off. They're all just listening to her being sexually fucking harassed.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, this is good."
And she's just like, he likes me. Dude.
Julianne Moore then goes down in the spacesuit and she's like, "Gentlemen, what are you doing here?" And not like, "I'm going to have the CIA rendition you to Slovakia." No, they're just having an argument. You can't be here. He's like, "Why'd you break in my office?"
Right. And Julianne Moore and her character knew nothing of this break-in, but I don't know that they get to the bottom of this. I think it's just, the other guy did it, right? Like, someone did it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a throwaway thing.
Who gives a shit?
Right. I don't even know why she had to not be a part of it. It seems totally reasonable. JPEGs.
Well, it's like, she's like, "No, I'm just a person doing my job. I'm not breaking the rules like those mean army guys."
Not that. Like, well, yeah, I think that she's like, it's supposed to be chipping away at her alliance, right? It's like, oh, that is dirty. Why do that?
That's not part of the code.
And then, right, that's not the bro code. And then, would you say the most egregious? Like, do they need this scene in the movie?
I mean, I think the movie hinges upon, it's like the big comic set piece of the middle of the movie.
Why?
It's Orlando Jones. Let's explain. Orlando Jones down in the thing. Julianne Moore and Duchovny are. I try to say character names and not, but who cares about this movie?
No one cares.
A bug gets into his suit. "Oh, bug's in my suit," and then it goes up his ass.
Goes right up his ass.
So they whisk him away. I liked the scene more than you did because they have him on a gurney. They're wheeling him in, and David Duchovny just shouts, like, "Medic, get over here! Cut him open! Let's get this thing!" Like, he's immediately issuing orders and telling them to cut him open.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And one of the doctors just immediately says, "We're gonna have to amputate." Okay,
because somehow it goes up his ass and now it's in his thigh. I don't know how the ass works, but that's not it. It would be in so many fucking miles of intestines, whatever. Okay, so now it's in his thigh, and they're like, "We're gonna have to amputate." "No, I'm a dancer," or whatever the fuck. And then it goes in his balls. "All right, let's amputate that." "Okay, no, take my leg."
It's heading for the testes. Take the leg. Take the leg.
Jesus Christ! And how can it head for the testes and then back to the ass? It's not how anatomy works.
It's heading back for the asshole. So
now they're certain. They are certain that little bug is so tired. It just ran amok all over his fucking body.
Stay put
but now let's take 4 to 5 minutes flipping him over and fishing this out of what we are certain is his asshole. And they go they say, "Give me the cheek spreaders." Not a thing.
They have them.
And then just forceps now that get the baby out into it. He would have so much anal trauma. I'm sorry, it's just not funny to me. I mean, they are fishing around in there.
Yeah, I don't think that part's funny. I do think it's kind of funny. He's turned over and Julianne Moore and David Duchovny are holding his hands.
That's
like,
sweet.
"Oh, you're so brave. You're so brave."
I like that.
I like that too. It's kind of sweet.
And it turns her into caring about them a little bit.
"I've seen what your ass went through and now you're my friend." And then they get the bug out and she's like, "Honey, you did so well. Can I get you anything?" He's like, "Ice cream." It's like, "Okay, what flavor?" "I don't care. It's for my ass."
Yeah, no. You need stitches. Okay. You are.
No, he flips over immediately and jumps up.
You can't walk. You need a blood trail down your leg. This is wrong. Okay. All right, now back to the people we don't care about. We're back. Okay, the guy that is trying to be a firefighter, he did not get that job, so he's still a pool boy. He's at a country club. We're back at the country club, and old man Mr. Mean Boss is giving him the business like he was in the scene before. God. And I don't even know, like, it's just like, oh, you stupid ass, give me a drink. And he's like, I've got a special drink for you. I guess he hawks a loogie in it. We don't even know.
We don't see it.
Who cares?
I watched it twice.
He gives him the fucking drink. I'll bet they had to cut that out. It's disgusting. And then, wow, we didn't need this scene, man.
I think it's like, well, I used to make these movies like Animal House and
who did?
Ivan Reitman. And Ghostbusters that were slobs versus snobs. Of course, now I've been a rich and powerful person for 25 years, so I don't want to be too mean to the country club folk. Like, this movie should be these stuffy rich people on golf courses getting attacked by aliens, but instead it's just one. It happens off screen. You don't even see it. And Seann William Scott, this is what leads him into the main action of the movie by...
Oh, this is the animal that he brings to them?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the one from the pool pump. Okay.
Nah. No, he sees the one in the pool pump and then he just moves on with his life.
Oh, right. Normal.
Yeah. He shows up with the dead alien specimen. Then there's a cutaway to, I guess this might have been a total reshoot or something, but it's just 4 suburban ladies in a suburban house.
Who cares?
And a weird alien slug muskrat comes out of their closet.
I think they just spent a lot of time on this puppet. It's really cute. It's so sweet.
It's mostly CGI.
Is it because I felt like maybe they were going for, like, what is it called? Is it called slime? What is it in Ghostbusters?
Slimer.
Like, I felt like this was maybe they were hoping for a mascot.
We need yes. Yeah. We need an iconic alien. They don't have one.
They don't. And this is like,
they create the fucking smiley face with 3 eyes that isn't even in the movie.
It's not even in the movie. And look at him. Pull up Slimer.
Yeah, I know.
It looks like him.
Yeah, it does.
And
it does look like
it's
Slimer.
the most lovable, and it's green and all that.
It just has big sad eyes.
Big sad eyes.
Oh, shit.
Little pouty face.
But just to compare it to Ghostbusters, again, Ghostbusters was so specific. It was in New York. We're commenting on different types of people in different types of New York settings. This is the most anonymous setting. It's just a house.
Are they rich? Are they friends? Are they at a meeting? Are they going to do business? Do they like each other?
Shut up. Don't ask. Shut up.
Just tell me if they're middle class, upper class. Guess it doesn't fucking matter. We just needed to put another alien in here.
Then they go... Our 3 heroes go to eat at a diner, and David Duchovny at the next booth over here's his bitch ex-wife, who's played by Sarah Silverman.
Ex-girlfriend.
Sorry. Well, he just says ex. They don't specify.
That bitch doesn't get married.
And he's like, "Oh, hey, slut, you ever going to return my shirts?" And she's like, "You can have your damn shirt."
But it's so bizarre, right? Because, like, it's a trope. Like, you split up and you end up with some of their stuff. They end up with some of yours. But she's literally wearing his shirt.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, that's like I wear it to bed or something.
Right. It's comfortable. I like. No. I'm going to go to work in my pencil skirt and I'm wearing your stupid fucking shirt tied in a knot. What?
I'm on a date with this police officer wearing your old shit. Like, shouldn't he be like getting hard on this? Duchovny? He's like, "Yo, you're wearing my shirt."
I don't know what's happening. I don't understand what this scene even sets up.
They overhear that there's an animal attack because that's why the cop leaves.
Right.
And then Seann William Scott's like, "Gentlemen, I think we should check out this animal attack." And they do.
Do they not have animal control?
They go over and find the sad alien at the sad anonymous lady's house. And in the backyard, they find tons of dead dragons. I'm like, something's odd's going on here.
Pretty sure they're dinosaurs.
Some dead dragon dinosaurs. Okay. And but one of them is like still alive, but it's dying. And then it chokes and then
gives birth
from its mouth. This kind of reminded me of The Boy and the Heron. And Seann William Scott is like, "Whoa, it's like a big loogie." And it's like, that's not even a joke. The joke is just the word loogie.
I mean, yes, you just described what fucking happened. Gnarly.
I know it's annoying to be like, "Why is this funny?" But I'm just like trying to understand.
Even in that time, how was this funny? Who was this for?
This is like the first writer puts this in and is like, obviously you're going to hire a smart comedy writer to come in and punch this up, but they never did.
Just punch down.
They punched it down.
Punch their students, punch women, punch down.
They chase this flying dragon into the mall, where first they just shoplift a bunch of guns. No one's minding the gun store. They just get them. And Seann William Scott says to Orlando Jones, "You even know how to use one of these?" And Orlando Jones is like, "I may be a teacher, but I'm not a pussy. I know how to shoot a gun." And as they're saying this, David Duchovny is like, "Ladies, there's a flying extraterrestrial outside the store. Can we focus?" This again is like, this is they put an asterisk in the script, like the comedian needs to come in and make this into a joke. There's no jokes. Where would a flying dragon go in the mall? They ask, and Orlando Jones says,
The lingerie department.
All right.
The lingerie department.
It's from Mannequin. You fucking idiot.
I can't hear the word lingerie without thinking of
Lingerie department.
James Spader. The lingerie department.
Am I the only one that cares? I know they needed this scene to like solidify the three of them as a team, but who cares? It's so boring.
I don't know if this was a reshot scene, something they added later. It seems like it's like this movie's kind of boring. We need to throw in an action sequence.
Yeah.
David Duchovny's like, okay, the dragon, when he goes low, we go high. And then you and I simultaneously made the Michelle Obama joke. And then we high-fived because it's our anniversary. And then Seann William Scott summons it by singing into a microphone. You are so beautiful. It works. They shoot it and it's badass.
Again, showing that the dumbest person of the group is the most valuable. Yay.
They stand in a hero pose over the dead corpse of the dragon with their shotguns over their shoulders, and Duchovny's like, "What do you think, gentlemen? White meat or dark?"
And then eighth black joke of the movie. Do you even have to ask? Hilarious.
Then they spend 10 minutes singing "Play That Funky Music, White Boy" very loud in the Jeep.
Oh my God,
that is the height of comedy.
Awkward fucking. It's like, I know this moment in a movie. I know what this is, and you're doing it wrong. You're not doing anything except for me going like, I see the strings. I've seen all the work. This is very sweaty.
No, they're like, this is the audiences are going to be standing up and cheering and dancing.
It's like they
during this
just
sequence.
Needed that moment for the trailer. I'm sure it's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this fucking design.
Dan Aykroyd shows up. He's the governor, and I think he's styled like Richard Nixon, but Lacey thinks he's just wearing a suit.
I think his body shape is Richard Nixon.
So yeah, Julianne Moore, he shows up. I've convened the most powerful people, you, the army guy, and you, Julianne Moore. And she's like giving a PowerPoint presentation. She's like, the aliens will spread this fast. By this date, the United States officially no longer exists. It reminded me of Wilford Brimley in The Thing talking to his computer. How long till the Thing takes over world? Yeah.
This is another weirdly unobserved way that this would work. What is the role of the government? Why does the mayor have any jurisdiction at all, or governor or whatever, to say yes or no? I know they should get his buy-in, yes, but like at this point,
no, he doesn't.
There's no observance of real hierarchy, or it just feels very unorganized, and it's like, we just need Dan Aykroyd. Couldn't he just been a higher up at the...
Be the president.
Be the fucking president.
Yes. I'm the governor of Arizona. No, I mean...
You know, he had to be local because he had to care about the local effects. That's fine.
It's
fine.
I don't like to be... We're not the everything wrong with this movie. This doesn't make sense. That's not what we are.
That's not our podcast. This movie is bad.
This movie's just driving me crazy.
We usually aren't even on the exact same side of these things.
We're totally in sync. I just told you about the Michelle Obama thing.
We high-fived. We told you that. All right. Now, what did you want to tell me about this primate?
I'll get to that.
What's on the slide? Get to it.
I'll get to it.
Hey.
Duchovny and co show up to this high level meeting with the governor and the military guy. They just walk right in. They're like, "Hey, we're here," and again, yeah, they would in the real world be taken away to Guantanamo right away. But Ted Levine's like, "It's time for a military solution." What does that mean? We're gonna drop napalm, lots of napalm.
I don't think I understand how napalm works. I thought it just sticks to stuff and gets real hot.
No,
it's
blows
explosive.
Up. And I know I've said it before. It's just crazy that this kind of thing would never be shown in a movie just a few months later. Is the military, here's what the military does. Their solution is bomb it, just bomb it.
Right.
But they're like, something's going on down in the alien site. What? The aliens have evolved into primates. Now, primates evolved due to very specific ecological conditions. You know, like the dinosaurs got extinct. The mammals that were on the planet stuck around because they were low to the ground, and then they were allowed to evolve into. But this is all happening simultaneously, but still we get roughly similar animals
Right.
that we got in the real world. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Look at the teeth. Is it because he evolved inside of California, he felt he needed more aesthetic teeth? Like the evolution of this primate is, let's get the dentistry right.
You think the teeth look good?
Considering
Yeah.
they're scary, they're off-putting, but those are human teeth. Look at the bottom row. The bottom row is just a man.
Yeah, what does he eat? What does he need those teeth for?
Why are his eyes solid blue with no whites? Why is his fur blue? What is this?
It's just the design aesthetic. It's like it's
Bizarre.
stuff that's like from our world, but like a little different.
It just looks like Sully, who's like very mad.
This is like two players both wanted to play as the gorilla, so one got the regular gorilla color, the other got this color.
Oh.
I kind of like the design of the ape, but
It's-
Seann William Scott, he shoots the ape with a gun, and then he has a look on his face. It's like, what have I done?
What have I done? This thing was close to human. That's all. That's all it's supposed to be. It's like, I feel like I shot a person.
Dan Aykroyd, the governor, is like, General, you have my authorization to do whatever it takes. And
Yeah,
Ted
we can't have these primates running around California.
Arizona. It's Arizona.
I thought you said San. Oh my God. I listened to our fucking Heart and Souls podcast this morning, the last half of it, and you said San Francisco, and this entire time I've been thinking San Francisco.
Now,
for
this is a
the-
different episode.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ted Levine's like, thanks for that authorization, Governor. Of course, you're a state level official. I didn't need your authorization,
is
but
all
I
courtesy.
appreciate the sentiment anyway.
Oh, it's fucking.
Julianne Moore, she's like, I quit the government. You stink, Colonel or General. And she joins up the team. Now we're a full team of 4, just like the Ghostbusters. What a team this is. Meanwhile, this Arizona town is going to hell. Everybody's evacuating, and Power Man 5000 is playing. Get up, get up, get up, drop the bombshell. As an enthusiast of terrible butt rock from the early 2000s, I will say Power Man 5000, one of the better bands, because they're in on the joke.
As long as they're in on it. Like Guar.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of a cool. I mean, the Power Man 5000 guy is Rob Zombie's little brother.
Oh.
So, like,
All right.
you know. Back in the lab, they realize fire.
The thing that Matt already brought up because it upsets him so bad.
First, a very important thing. Fire. It just makes the aliens multiply. And I thought this was actually very like trenchant commentary on the war on terror, even though it hasn't started. Because, you know, you just bomb a terrorist, you just create 2 more terrorists.
Spread
it
in
really
veins.
makes you think.
Sure.
Then Ethan Suplee and
What they want is no dandruff. You get rid of the terrorist's bad hair, neutralize.
we just need to listen to each other. What do you need? What can we give you?
That's not the solution. The solution is different thing to dump on them and
Yeah.
kill them.
You're right. We just dump a different chemical
Right. They
compound
didn't
on
go
you.
down there with therapists and be like, how are you feeling about your new life?
It-
It's basically just a whole fucking underground dungeon full of Bella from freaking Poor Things.
yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to deal with my adult body. I feel like a baby, but I'm a big girl.
I'd like to see
I
that
nailed
movie.
that.
Yeah.
I nailed that.
Poor evolution alien things.
Poor evolution.
Yeah, the fat guys, they come in to deliver beers. And they're like, hey, we're here with some brewskis. And they're like, thanks, gentlemen. We like the beers, but now go away. But then David Duchovny.
I was happy to see them,
Yeah, me too.
honestly.
Duchovny's like, wait, shut up. I see something on the back of your t-shirt. Because she's now a cool girl wearing a t-shirt, but it's a science t-shirt.
She's not a cool girl. She's a nerd girl wearing science t-shirt. Thank you.
Cool people wear t-shirts. That's what I'm saying.
Great. Well, this one's turned around because it wouldn't be on the back. This makes no sense. Continue.
They didn't want him tracing her boobs.
I also had this shirt and it's on the front.
Yeah, I know. And I think you designed a t-shirt, the NOLA periodic table.
Yeah, that copy of the
remember
one I
what-
already had. Yep.
Do you remember what elements were on there? Like crawfish.
Like gumbo, y'all. I don't fucking know. Beignets. Continue.
In slow motion, David Duchovny's like, wait a minute, I see it. I'm sensing a pattern on the periodic table. And they're like, well, a pattern? He's like, yeah. We're carbon-based, right? Yeah, of course. We all know that. Okay, go 2 down and 1 over, and our poison is arsenic. Now, I'm no scientist, but I didn't know that the reason arsenic is a poison is because it destroys carbon, and we're made of carbon. I don't know.
Like, read the 2 things that are next to arsenic. I bet those are not great for us either.
Right.
The fuck? Helium, nitrogen. Like, oh, well, we love those. Give it up.
The one right over is poison.
Right.
So, okay.
Broccoli.
He's like, but these aliens are nitrogen based. Now, I watched this movie twice. I didn't see
When-
one instance of them saying they're nitrogen based.
When did they say that? They did not.
No.
We're so in sync right now.
And what over? And you'll find the aliens poison. And there's like a hero shot of Julianne Moore, and she understands. She says, selenium.
Can I ruin that for you? He'd already said it. He'd already said it. And then she went,
Selenium. Selenium, yeah.
No. I memorized the.
I got it. Yeah.
I got the pattern down.
I think that selenium is a fun word to say.
All right.
And I wonder how they arrived at this, but they're like, well, where are we going to get a lot of selenium? And then Ethan Suplee's like, well, Head and Shoulders. How do you know? You don't know anything. And they're like, but our hair looks so flake free.
Does it?
And Ethan Suplee says, let's get the troops together. We're getting shampoo. Kind of funny.
Okay, but they know where to get it, but they know where to get a tank of it that can go up a hose? The fuck?
Seann William Scott has a fire truck.
And
I
they
thought
just
he failed out in the
squirt
fire.
bottles
Yeah, they show that.
They do?
Yeah, they show.
I checked out.
Just a giant pile of Head and Shoulders bottles.
That's when you were like, remember it used to be orange? I have no memory of this.
I've used Head and Shoulders since I was a teenager. Yeah, I remember it being orange in the blue bottles. The active ingredient is no longer selenium sulfide. Sorry, gentlemen. It's now something else.
Pothole. Graphite.
They,
Just like pencils.
yeah.
Or lead.
They buy hundreds of bottles of the stuff, pour it into the fire engine, and Julianne Moore's like, hey, Ira, Dr. Ira Crane. He's like, yeah, that's my name. I'm David Duchovny, Dr. Ira Crane. I got to tell you something, but I don't know how. Well, just say it.
You should just say it.
I would have rocked your world.
He says the one decent thing in this entire movie that comes out of his mouth. You already have. Yeah, because she did some science. She said selenium.
Yeah, and just the erotic tension, the chemistry between these two actors. The audience is just coming gallons of orange shampoo at this. Like, oh my God, it's so hot. And yeah, the government's like, all right, bomb them. They bomb the aliens. This just makes the aliens turn into one giant tentacle thing, which honestly was helpful. Now there's just one target instead of.
Thank you.
Yeah. But as this happens, we get a bunch of Steven Spielberg shots of people looking in awe at the distance, often while standing slowly up from a chair. And like,
Buckling their pants.
Yeah, what's it doing? It looks like it's about to split in two. Mitosis. There's going to be, she says, this is going to keep doubling until it takes over. And David Duchovny says, yeah, but we were here first.
Cool.
What?
That
What
worked
is
so
this?
well for the freaking indigenous people of this world.
Meaning humans.
Finders, keepers. Well, let's pack it in. Europe, Britain.
Yeah,
Okay.
those two. The heroes, they find the opening of this big alien blob. The alien looks just so bad. The CGI, this is just CGI goo in the sun. It looks like nothing. The actors are reacting to nothing until we get a close up, and then he's actually
In some sort of like bouncy house that's
an
on
actual
top of them.
prosthetic bouncy thing.
Yeah.
And I know our stance is just
big
CGI bad, real good. But
Gaping butthole. Just a lot of butthole action.
they shoot the orange shampoo into the butthole.
Well, first Orlando Jones goes up the butthole as a big payback.
Yeah.
Great.
How do you like it, mister?
Don't
Not a lot.
get the sins of my father, sir. I'm a different organism.
He says to Duchovny, don't tell anyone where I've been.
Okay.
But yeah, this works. The alien explodes. There's globs everywhere. It looked Super Mario Sunshine for Nintendo GameCube looked better than this. And the governor's like, I want to introduce all of our civilian scientist heroes. Again, this is very pointed. It's the civilians who save the day, not the military.
Okay.
The government's like, this is Professor Harry Block. He used to do 7-Up commercials. Here's Dr. Ira Crane. Wait, where is he? He's off fucking Julianne Moore in a fire truck.
They just saved the world and they can't wait to fuck. You're on. We should
It's so
sneak away.
awkward to it. They're about to
Why?
get their prize or whatever. And she's like, I bet you wouldn't miss this for anything in the world. Why'd she say that?
Why?
Anything? And then they hold hands and run away.
Even bad sex in a truck?
But then there's one final thing in the movie where Duchovny, Seann William Scott, and Orlando Jones look straight at the camera and they're like, fighting the alien menace can take a lot out of you. Good thing we always carry lots of head and shoulders. And that's the end of the movie.